In the first millennium BCE, the Indian subcontinent was an area of extreme physical isolation, defined by jagged mountain ranges and sweeping, impassable plains. This political map mirrors that rugged geography. The land was splintered into dozens of localized republics and kingdoms, known as the Mahajanapadas. Such a deeply segmented region faced a massive hurdle: how to evolve from a collection of isolated territories into an integrated economic powerhouse. Laborers and merchants began carving massive arterial trade routes straight through the ancient forests, creating a level of connectivity that outpaced military conquest. The drive for economic expansion provided a physical blueprint that stitched these fragmented territories together for the first time. Two primary routes drove this integration. Looking at this map of northern India, the Uttarapatha extends a long line of communication from the northwest regions straight across the Ganga Plains to the far east. A second major artery, the Dakshinapatha, branched off from the central capital of Kaushambi and pushed deep into the lower peninsula. Pushing southward required engineers to overcome the Vindhya mountain range. The Dakshinapatha cut directly through this natural barrier, linking the northern plains to the southern tip of the subcontinent. Breaching these mountain walls meant that geography could no longer keep India's distinct cultures cordoned off from one another. From these primary arteries, lateral roads branched out toward the coasts, sparking the growth of major new urban centers. On the eastern coast, the capital of the Kalinga region, a city called Shishupalgarh, emerged as a primary hub for this trade. Aerial views of the site reveal a rigid, exact square ground plan, indicating the city was engineered for high-volume activity from the very first brick. Massive fortifications ring the perimeter of that square, built to protect the wealth accumulating inside the city's walls. Inside, the street grid consists of broad, perfectly straight avenues designed to keep a constant flow of merchants and cargo moving through the city center. These highly engineered cities proved that the trade routes were the primary engines of development, dictating where and how the population would settle. Following these routes to the extreme south, we see a massive surge in commercial activity around 400 BCE. Three major powers consolidated control over these southern terminals: the Cholas, the Cheras, and the Pandyas. The trade routes were pulled south by an abundance of natural resources. The southern kingdoms provided a steady supply of precious stones, gold, and spices to the rest of the subcontinent. The coastal ports in this region connected the internal road network to the wider world, facilitating maritime trade with kingdoms across the sea. The Deep South transformed India's domestic trade loop into an international commercial network. By 300 BCE, the subcontinent was fully integrated. The Uttarapatha, the Dakshinapatha, and the maritime routes formed a single pulsing web. As this economic network grew, the old localized borders of the Mahajanapadas became obsolete, and those early kingdoms simply ceased to exist. Goods and culture now traveled from the southern ports to the northeast regions with ease. This momentum pushed beyond India's borders, spreading cultural influence into Central and Southeast Asia. The sheer volume and diversity of people moving through this network turned a fragmented landmass into a single, interconnected community. These routes provided a reliable path for messengers and military campaigns to reach the most distant edges of the subcontinent. By creating a system where a central authority could communicate with and reach every major city, this network established the administrative skeleton required to govern a unified empire.